Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Every single day at Krya, we get a number of messages from people who are looking for a solution for very serious hair problems like excessive hair fall, premature graying, hair damage, hair breakage, or very dry hair and scalp. Now, the first question that we obviously ask them is, what are the current hair care products that you're using now? Now, these days, we're very surprised to hear that a number of these people are using some form of herb-infused homemade hair oil or a homemade DIY herb hair wash powder. Now, a lot of them could have taken this hack off the internet, or maybe a friend recommended it to them, and they are not getting the results that they thought they would get with herbs as compared to using a lot of chemical alternatives. Now, the erroneous conclusion that some of them come to is that maybe Ayurveda doesn't work for them or these herbs don't work for them. But that's the wrong conclusion in these cases, and herbs really work like magic when applied in the right way. So what is exactly the problem that these people are facing here? The first important point note here is that Ayurveda is not the same as DIY or homemade. Now, a very common internet hack that you'll see for homemade shampoos is a Reetha Amla Shikakai shampoo, and these are fantastic Ayurvedic herbs that you should be putting on your hair. But the problem here is that these are very specific herbs with very specific properties as described in the various Ayurvedic texts and the Niganthus. So you just can't bung them in any combination and hope that they'll work for your specific problem. So they need to be used as per their specific properties in specific combinations and with other herbs added to them to give you the right solution that you're looking for. Moreover, as per the Ayurveda textbooks, you need to understand the specific doshic aggravations that are going on in your hair and scalp and in your overall body as well to understand which herbs to use for your specific case. The next problem is that the Ayurvedic textbooks list literally hundreds of herbs for their hair care properties like Keshya, Ranjana or Sanjanana. Now, many of these herbs are very difficult to get in a city, or even if you can get some of them, they are extremely difficult to process at home. For example, some of the wonderful herbs are barks which come literally like huge logs which are very difficult to break and process at home. The important point to notice here is that these herbs and their specific hair care properties are not replaceable by the other herbs. So if you have Reetha Amla Shikakai, doesn't mean that you'll get the benefits of all the hundreds of herbs listed in the Ayurvedic textbook. So some of these herbs are unique and irreplaceable. So that's a huge limitation of DIY products. Another big problem facing the honest, hardworking DIY person at home is this, that the Ayurvedic herbs need to be manufactured or made in specific proportions, and the ideal way is to take each herb, grind it properly according to the right particle size, sieve it, and then mix in the final formulation as per the proportion required. But the difficulty of doing this at home or in a mill near home is that we take all the herbs, bung them together, and then mill them together. So what happens is that different herbs have different hardness, different bulk densities, etc. So you won't get the uniform formulation in the end. So there'll be variations from the raw herbs that you put in the bulk form to the final milled product that you get. The other problem is that since they are of different coarseness and different particle sizes when ground in the same machine for the same time, you will get a very uneven powder. Now, when you get a coarse, uneven powder, what happens is often the hair can get tangled while using this product, or the product can get very rough and coarse to use, leading to hair damage or hair breakage or the difficulty of rinsing off this homemade hair wash powder. So the final product that's manufactured in using herbs needs to be ground well and ground properly, and the herbs that come out need to be in the correct proportion. If you have too much, let's say, of a cleansing surfactant herb like Shikakai or Reetha, then the hair can become very, very dry after using this powder. So this is another limitation of using herbs to make a DIY powder. And finally, the biggest problem that our DIY enthusiast encounters is this, that they also have to diagnose their problem, their specific hair problem, and come up with a formulation. Very often the mistake that people make is to put too much of the biosurfactants like Reetha or Shikakai and very less of the other conditioning herbs or the dosha balancing herbs. So what happens very often is they get a very drying product, and that's not good enough, especially if they make the other common mistake of not applying enough Ayurvedic hair oil before washing their hair. So this leads to a lot of frustration with herbs and homemade products, where we read that they're supposed to work really well, and we know very well from the text that for thousands of years these herbs have worked well for people, but we are not getting the results as expected. Now, what is the solution here? Please don't think that I'm trying to discourage you from making an excellent herb-based product at home. All I'm trying to say is that you need to understand the specific properties. So one option is you could go to an Ayurvedic Vaidya near your home, discuss your hair problems with them, and get some understanding about the specific herbs and how to use them, and create a solution that will work well for you. This way you can avoid a lot of frustration with the common internet hacks that are not working well for so many people. Or the other option is come to an expert like Krya, whose stated aim is to study Ayurveda, apply the principles, buy herbs in bulk, put in an excellent trained team, the machinery, and make excellent formulations that are custom made for a number of hair problems. So these are the two options that are there for you to completely avoid synthetics and get an excellent Ayurvedic solution for all your problems. Now, if you are getting very frustrated with your homemade or DIY herb experience and we're thinking of lapsing to the dark side of chemicals and synthetic shampoos which are polluting the planet and mostly ruining your hair health, I hope this video gave you enough hope and a few pointers to stay on the right side, the bright side of Ayurveda and herbs, which is great for the planet and great for your hair. Thank you for watching this video. At Krya, we work hard every day to study Ayurveda under good teachers, apply these principles in our lives and in our work, and then create useful content for you so you don't have to do all this hard work. Now, if you like to receive this kind of content regularly, do consider subscribing to our channel, and we also love to hear from you, so we look forward to your comments in the comment section below too.